WWE and AEW are going head-to-head in October, plus Hell in a Cell return plans have been revealed. And there's a big return planned for SmackDown. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling News right now. Lots of interesting things happening in October. Halloween, the pumpkin spice latte.
It's my mum's birthday.
Oh, your mum will love this then.
She's a big fan.
A WWE and AEW head-to-head time moment coming in October.
Tony Khan announced 2 special episodes of Dynamite taking place in October. We got the AEW Anniversary Dynamite, that's on October 2nd in Pittsburgh, PA. And owing to a scheduling clash, AEW Dynamite will become AEW Title Tuesday the following week. That's on October the 8th, putting them in a head-to-head ratings battle with NXT.
Now, AEW, I believe I've got my timings right on this, is going to be presenting their go-home for Wrestle Dream, whilst NXT will be presenting its second show on its new home on the CW. So there is a lot riding on that one for both sides. For AEW, it's going into their big event, Best Foot Forward. For WWE, it is still establishing that big asking price for NXT on a new network. The last time that we played this game where we had NXT and AEW going head-to-head, WWE took no prisoners, did they?
No, they threw everything at it. There were appearances from the likes of John Cena, Asuka, Cody Rhodes, The Undertaker. So put it in your diary now, because on October 8th, we're getting Cody versus Roman versus Rock versus Cena versus Joe Hendry versus Hulk Hogan versus... No, he's dead. It's going to be big. It's going to be big.
Just gonna
said Andre the Giant.
I was wondering who you might have meant. And I thought, is Hogan dead? No, okay. So they're gonna really heavily load both. I think both parties are going to do everything they can to really load those ones up. In AEW, meanwhile, behind the scenes, there's been a fair bit of drama this week. The drama llama has been bleating, and Britt Baker, MJF, Alicia Atout, all involved in some scenarios backstage involving MJF making Britt Baker reporting making some comments about MJF, Alicia Atout feeding those back to MJF, and
it ended with Britt getting suspended for a brief period of time. Some new details have emerged via Wrestle Purists, and why Baker was suspended and not MJF.
So the reason why he didn't get suspended, MJF, is because the context and the order of the events. According to multiple sources, MJF, when he hit the wall, which is something that he did in frustration around the time of this back and forth, it was not a case of he was in front of Britt Baker and punched the wall next to her, which I think had been some speculation. Apparently, he had his interaction and he walked very, 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 very far down the hallway when no one was there, and then he hit a wall.
Regarding the women's locker room aspect of the story, the official information that Wrestle Purist got was that after this whole thing apparently had calmed down, because apparently Will Ospreay was the first person to confront Baker, and he just kind of asked her why she was starting issues. Ospreay confronted her, asked her about it. Britt Baker went off on Alicia. Britt Baker called Alicia by multiple accounts a stupid flipping B word, because Alicia had informed MJF that Britt Baker was berating him, talking crap about Max and Ospreay. She was burying them as their match was going on, the 1 hour match that is, of course, and then Alicia Atout let Max know via text message.
So Max finds out later. Ospreay approaches MJF, comes to the defense of his fiance as well. Britt Baker goes off on Alicia for being a snitch. She accused her of being a snitch, called her, as we say, a stupid effing B word. She said that she was going to get her kicked out of the women's locker room, so on and so forth. For MJF, he went into the women's locker room and was allegedly him going there, knocking and asking if he could enter, and them saying that he could enter, and that's when he got in the locker room, because there's some people who said that he stormed into the locker room of the women's division in AEW, where, as it's transpired, he asked if he could come in, and when he was given clearance, he entered.
Yes, so the reason he wasn't suspended is because HR had all the details, the info, and the footage, and they looked all over it, and they said, okay, you're not in the wrong here, you're just coming to the defense of your fiance, and so they just kind of didn't really punish him because they didn't see it as something that should be punishable. It's all like, according to this report, and obviously take all of wrestling reporting with a little pinch of salt. You never know exactly what's going on. It all sounds very high school stuff, doesn't it? It's all a bit... Yeah.
Britt Baker posted on her socials just a a picture with the graphic, the words that just say, I love hearing rumors about myself. Like, oh my God, what did I do next?
That's it. I think you've got to digest all of these reports, make up your own mind, and then in 10 or 15 years when these people are unemployed, you get the proper shoot interviews, and then you can hear it from the horses' mouths, and there are a lot of horses involved in this case, for sure.
When they all come on Desert Island Graps,
Exactly.
I will get the truth out of them, I tell you. Over to WWE, where the Hell in a Cell is coming back in a big way. Not a massive surprise in terms of how we're doing it, but I'm glad that we're doing it this way.
They picked the right match. According to Worked Wrestling, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in Hell in a Cell is currently planned as the main event of October's premium live event, Bad Blood. It's the anniversary of the very first Hell in a Cell match. It's as I say, the right match to put in there. It's so heated. It's only going to be picking up over the next few months. I'm still really, really enjoying it. There's your blow off, and then you got Rumble not long after, and then it's on to WrestleMania. New feuds approaching toward the end of the year. Then
you know how we're in this new era where things are a little bit more attitude facing a little bit. There's a bit more cursing. There's a bit more blood, a bit more violence. I see Drew and Punk just having a gore fest of a Hell in a Cell. Like genuinely a violent, angry match, and with crimson masks all round.
No bracelets involved in this one.
If there is, I think maybe the final shot might be Drew smashing the bracelet.
Oh, goodness me. I didn't mind the bracelet thing. I saw some people going like, oh, they're fighting over a bracelet. It's what it symbolizes, isn't it? I thought it was all right. It's proper. It's a drama, isn't it? It's silly soap opera bollocks, but I quite liked it.
So the origin of the bracelet,
a fan made it, right?
Yeah. It was a fan. They popped up online, and I had no idea, but it was given to Punk as a gift.
That's really sweet.
There's the fan there. There we go.
No, he wouldn't be in the same room as me. He hates me for some reason. Probably because I've monetized his name for the last 6 or 7 years.
Oh, that old chestnut. That makes sense.
Cheers, Phil.
I love you, Phil. Now, on SmackDown this coming Friday, we saw a big debut in Odyssey Jones on Monday. We saw a lot of movement coming out of SummerSlam. On Friday, a return to SmackDown, which is exciting to see.
According to Mike Johnson of PW Insider, we are going to see the return of the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. What he's going to be doing on the show is unknown. We've not seen him since he was in the I Quit match with Cody Rhodes, Clash of the Castle, mid-June. It's been that long already. For me, the most sensible place to put him, because they had such a great showing before, is in the US title picture now that LA Knight is US champion. I would be up for seeing that again.
I think that's a lovely win potentially for LA Knight. I know it feels like AJ's taking a lot of L's in 2024.
He's AJ Styles, isn't he?
Yeah.
It doesn't harm my enjoyment of AJ Styles at all. Like, I'm obviously so into like storytelling in wrestling, and AJ does that really well, but literally you could put AJ Styles in there with anyone and I'd be overjoyed because I'm getting to watch AJ Styles wrestle, so I don't mind him losing that one.
And that's the glory of him as well. That's in terms of where he's at in his career, that he's somebody that can work with practically anybody. If they want to build somebody new, you put them in a program with AJ Styles. This kind of feels like, I know obviously next year is going to be all about the wrap-up of John Cena's career. I hope we get a similar love when AJ finally decides to come away.
Yeah, how long do you reckon he's got left in him?
Oh, I think it's still a few more years. I know he's spoken very openly about, getting ready to get to a point where he starts to wind down. So, and I could see, maybe a couple of years' time we start to see farewell to him. I'd love him to do a little turn in TNA before that happens, though. That feels right.
Yeah. It'd be nice for him to pop back, even if it's just doing like, when Christian went back in the day, even if he just pops up. I'd rather see a match, obviously, but it would be nice when that time comes, it'd be nice for him to say a few words and wave.
Properly, just wave politely. Yeah. Smile and wave, boys, smile and wave. For more wrestling news throughout the day, of course, you can check out Cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you, bye.